Layla, I see you. Charles, I see you. Parker, I see you. Corey, I see you. Awesome. Jan, I see you. Nice. Okay, so do you want to stand next to me for just a second so we can do the introduction without you sitting on the chair?
Sure.
Okay. I think that's nice. Okay. All right.
Wait a second. There you go.
You could.
All right, thank you.
Okay, good. Perfect. So hello, everybody that's in the room. Hello, everybody in virtual world. I'm Monica. This is my husband, Jan. We are, we've been married for 15 years, but we met when I was 18 years old. We started dating at the age of 20. We therefore know a lot about relationships, how to build them and how they function and how challenging they can be at times. We have 3 children, the ages of 3, 10, and 12. So we've also navigated and are
Navigating.
parenthood. We share with people how to really live their greatest life. And on this particular Monday, we're going to talk about how do you clear your path. We'll get into specifics about what the actual conversation is going to be. But the intention of every Monday is to really help people recognize that in life we have a lot of different ways to make choices, a lot of different ways to use our mind and our heart together.
Now what do we do?
Very often we separate our mind and our heart from each other. And we tend to be consumed in self-criticism and the voices in our
What if I
head.
didn't want to be seen?
Are they the first one live again?
Yeah.
We talked a lot about those voices in your head, and it'll come up periodically as we go. But what's important about what we're looking at is when you make that mind and heart connection, the ability to have compassion, the ability to heal, the ability to see things in a new way, the ability to understand what's going on, not just from a logical, rational place, but also from a collaborative and an interactive and engaged place is available. So my husband and I do this together because it's better with 2. It's also important that sometimes in life when you get the feminine and the masculine perspective, it doesn't always need to be a man and a woman to do that, but in this case, we have the opportunity to do that together. So I want to introduce my beautiful husband, Jan, who has been a partner and very many years of my life was the guy behind the camera, shining the spotlight on me. And about 2 years ago, I said, the camera isn't just on me, the camera's on us and the camera's on you. And so just if I'm broadcasting to the world to see your greatness and be your greatness, it's important that you're also seeing your greatness and being your greatness. So he went out from the back and into the front, and now he does the back and the front in front.
Let's
hear it for Jan.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. So like she said, my name's Jan, and really what we like to do here, like she said, is really focus on how is it that we're experiencing life. I remember when I first really had this concept of there's different ways to experience the same thing. It really came forward for me. I originally went to UCLA and I got a master's in screenwriting. And when I used to watch movies, I would always watch the movie from the storytelling perspective. Really, how is it that the writer is really connecting the audience, kind of setting some of the storyline in the beginning, when it's going to come back. And I was sitting next to a friend who was an actor, and he was watching a totally different movie because he was watching the movie from the perspective of an actor and the choices that the actor was making. And every single person who watches that same movie they were experiencing a little bit of a different movie. And that's really how we get to choose to experience life. We're all experiencing life, and we really have the opportunity to decide how is it, from what perspective do I want to experience this? And so that's a lot of what we talk about is a lot of times we choose experiences that are really based on our subconscious, based on the past, based on choices that don't really empower us and support us reaching our goals. And so now that's part of what we talk about is how can we really separate the things that are having us make choices that aren't necessarily serving us and really identify from my authentic self, from the most powerful place that I have inside of me, from choices that are going to support me to have what I want, how can I really make the choices from that place?
And when you start making choices from a concerted place, you can imagine there's like an energy that comes with it. So it helps with the manifestation of what you're seeking. Because if you're not choosing, then life happens to us. And we think that life is happening, and then based on what happens, we then make decisions, because decisions are based on all these considerations. I decide between what I'm wearing or what I'm not wearing. I decide between what time I'm getting up or what time I'm not. I decide between what time I'm going to bed or what I'm not. I decide between whether I'm going to take someone's suggestion or not. Those are all decisions. But when I'm choosing, it comes from a place inside of me and my own knowing, and it begins to foster the trust in myself. I know where this comes from. I know who I am. And the more we listen inside and get clear that the voice that's serving us, which voice that is inside, then we can really honor that voice and have that voice guide us, run the show a little bit, as opposed to other people's feedback running the show.
Great. So 2 things. So 1, because we have 2 different cameras going, so
yes.
Let's just make sure that everyone's getting the right views and not like half of me.
You know, you're getting a little bit of up my nose, right. So here every once in a while, I'll just come on close so you don't get the nostril view all the time.
So, so we were listening to a woman named Gabrielle Bernstein this morning, and one of the
Thank you, Renee.
Yes,
thank you, Renee. Sent us a little clip.
Yes. And by the way, like, that's valuable. You heard something that inspired you, and now you shared it with us. It inspired us, and now we're going to share it here on Periscope, on Zoom, soon to be on YouTube, across all of our social media. And that what you shared might then impact other people and change their lives. And if you never did that, none of that ripple effect would ever have happened.
Well, and here's the thing that's a misunderstanding. You thought, I saw this thing, Monica popped into your head, this may serve the question she just asked me 2 days ago, so I'm going to send this thing from this person over to this person. But often you forget that you're the one that thought about me, saw the thing, was ready to receive what you were meant to receive, to pay it forward. And so many people don't value themselves in the link, the bridge between the thing that I saw, the thought about the person, and the delivery to the person. And it's critical that you guys start paying attention to, oh my gosh, it may not have been my content, but the content inspired something in me that might inspire someone else. And that is equally as valuable as the content creator and the content itself. Because those bridges are how information, hi baby, or how that information goes from where it's conceived, a universal conception, you know, that oneness of how we're all connected. It goes from that universal oneness into the world. And we forget, like, oh, well, I didn't create it, and I'm just not that creative, and I can't do it. And all of a sudden we start judging what we're good at and what we're not based on what someone else has done. But if you're taking that someone else, what they've done, and you're broadcasting it because you understand it, then it's serving no matter where the source is.
So thank you, Renee. And,
yes,
and everyone who will be impacted from this point forward, thank you. So one of the things she was talking about was really like having people, like how you be in action and how you really, well, how to stay consistent in action, which is part of our theme overall for the day. But one of the things that she said was, what was the exact language? Was it be motivated by your message?
Fall in love with your message.
Fall in love with your message. So when you fall in love with your message, then it's really easy to share because it's just who you are. It's what you love. Now, the key here is many people in life aren't even clear what their message is. So in order to fall in love with your message, you have to know what your message is first. So my message is really, I can live a healthy life that I love and teach others to do the same. What's your message?
See your greatness, be your greatness, and pay it forward.
So we would love to hear from some of you, and maybe let's just take 30 seconds for you to think about it. You can write it down if you want, but we all want to know you better, and we all want to know what's your message.
Yeah, and the conversation that I typically train people on is each of us has our own billboard, and you walk around and you drive around and you see hundreds of other people's messages, but how well are you broadcasting your own? So what would your message, what would your billboard say? That's another way to look at it, because the more concise it is. It's got to fit on a billboard. The more concise it is, the more I can remember what I can count on you for or who you are for me, so that when I need what you have to give me, I'm clear that you're the one, and I'm clear what you're going to give.
Awesome. So let's take 30 seconds. You can write it down on your phone. You can write it down on a piece of paper. You can do what you want there in Zoom land.
Yeah, you can chat it
land.
up, you guys. If you have your message, go ahead and paste it into the chat so that everybody here can see it.
Yep, and on
And then in Periscope, if you have what is your message, please chat it up.
And we'll write it, and we'll read it for you.
Yeah, we'll read it out loud in the room. Chat it up. What's your message, Blaine? Do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, good. So come on up here. Let's have you share while they're coming up with it.
All right, everybody give it up for Blaine.
What's up, guys? So my name is Blaine, and I've been a part of this community now for 3 years. So really excited to work with Monica, and she's amazing, as you guys all know. So my billboard is strive to reach your full potential in every aspect of life, so that others can show up and do that for themselves.
Nice.
Awesome. Love that. Very clear.
And here's the thing. Like, we're living, breathing versions of our message, of our billboard. When you look at Blaine, does it look like he's achieving his full potential?
Striving to.
I mean, look at this guy, right? So awesome. Good job.
Thanks, Jan. Thanks, Jan.
Leah, you said loving people and having them feel welcomed. I think that's what you said. I didn't get past by while he was talking, so I didn't want to interrupt and read it. Awesome. Beautiful. Does everybody else know their message? Because you're going to call them up stage here. Brad, you know yours? Keep writing. Go for it. What's your name? Destiny. Do you know yours? Okay, come on up. Let's hear Destiny.
My message would just be to inspire everyone to be best versions of themselves.
Okay, great. And wait, before you leave. So how are you doing that? How do you do that for yourself so that people see it when you're walking?
For myself, just always try to better myself by learning, by growing to people, reading, just always connecting with the spiritual side.
Great. Awesome. Beautiful. Renee, do you know your message?
I know my message.
This is Renee from Italy.
My message has changed through time, and I feel like right now it's basically that everyone is beautiful in his own way, and that self-acceptance is much more important than self-improvement. And they're like, we share that.
Slow. Self-acceptance is much more important than self-improvement. Yeah. Beautiful. I want everybody out there to get that. Self-acceptance is much more important than self-improvement.
And Jen shared that quote one day. I saw that from you, and I never forgot it. I was like, that's it. Like, there's no self-improvement that can do the work that self-acceptance is.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Renee.
Yeah.
I thought it sounded brilliant.
Irene, come on up.
Good job, Jan.
Are you ready? Okay, good. Excellent.
So my message is to spread love, joy, health, and wealth.
Spread love, joy, health, and wealth.
Yeah.
And how do we do that?
So loving myself first and being able to love others, and then treating my body well so that I'm healthy and teaching others how to do that. And for me, health as well. So like being healthy feels good. Like,
Okay, good.
Great.
So wealth in the spiritual sense, in the financial sense, in the physical sense. Awesome. Great. Awesome. Beautiful. Michelle?
How about someone on Zoom?
Okay, good.
So Melissa, you had typed it up, but I'm going to mute you. Can you share?
Yeah. Hey, guys. So my message to the world is living a life you love starts with loving yourself and living that love in the world.
Awesome.
Living a life you love starts with loving yourself and living that love in the world. Awesome. So, Melissa, how do we live a life you love? What's one thing that you do to live a life you love?
I start the day every day with gratitude for exactly what I have in my life, what we get to be, do, and have in this world, and then how to live through that every single day, sharing our journey, sharing our experiences, and letting that be access to everybody else living a life that they love and helping them find what that is for them.
Good. So giving access to people by living outwardly the life that you love. Beautiful. Thank you. Ron Schwartz, do you have your message? I ran from the screen.
He just went running. All right.
No, he unmuted himself. Well, maybe he
I
ducked
did.
out.
All right, Alexis.
Hi, everyone. I'm Alexis from Boston. My message is to connect, empower, and enhance one's life through hugs, love, knowledge, health, and smiles.
Okay. So empowering people through health, love, hugs, and what? Smiles? Health, love, hugs, smiles. There's one more.
Hugs, love, knowledge, health, and smiles.
Knowledge. Good. Okay, good. You can hear them? Oh, awesome. Great. Thank you, Leah. Okay, so Alexis, what is one way that you do that? And what specifically, like, I think it's important if you're going to have 5 things in your title that you're really clear how each one of those things plays a role inside of your expression. So the way knowledge plays a role, the way health plays a role. So let's tap into, since one of the things you said that's different than everybody else was knowledge, what's one of the ways that you tap in using your knowledge?
Well, something that my main core is operating out of my heart. So when I operate out of my heart, it creates a space for others to step into operating out of their heart. And how am I trying to explain this? Basically, all of these things, like when I open myself up, it just allows them to. How am I trying to explain this? Okay, so with knowledge, kind of like what Melissa was saying, like when you're creating a space and allowing yourself to share your heart and share your experiences from such an authentic place, they feel like they can trust you and that they're able to maybe share with you or something like that.
Great, so being able to count on your knowledge so that when you share it, that people get the sense of where it's coming from, what your life experience has been, using your history, your past experiences as resources for others. Excellent. Let's hear it for Alexis. Very good, you guys. Okay.
I was just going to read Mike Henderson shared that his message is to spread faith, happiness, and possibility to the world.
Yeah, and you know what's so neat about this? So even if you know who Mike is, if you've met this man who's here, wave, Mike, go ahead, wave so people can see which one you are, okay? If you've met him, he exudes happiness. He's been through lots of hardship in his life, and through it all, he stands inside of the lessons that he's learned. So when you're around him, you feel energized, you feel excited, he's got a high five, he's got a smile, he's got like a motivational energy that follows him anywhere, and it hits you before you even meet him. Like, he'll walk in a room and it's like, who is that guy? And you'll definitely turn your head to see him. In terms of faith, like how he's gotten through all of those moments. Michael, I hope you don't mind that I'm sharing this on your behalf, but this is who you are for me. And when your billboard or your message is really clear, others can share it on your behalf because you live it, so it's easy for that to happen. I lost everybody over here.
I just maybe this popped.
Oh, okay. So, you know, when you go through hardship, having faith is going to be usually the thing that gets you through it. So even when he shows up in a community event, he shows up with that smile on his face, knowing that there's something bigger calling him to be there, and then creating possibility, seeing that through anything's possible, and moving through it to get to those things. So, Michael, thumbs up. Is that pretty accurate representation of yourself? Awesome. Yeah.
So what I wanted to add to that is when you have identified your message, it's a great litmus test. Like, it's really great for you to know, am I doing what I'm intended to be doing on this planet? So when I used to be going to an office and working on software and being in that office from 8 a.m. until 7 p.m., you know, really away from my kids and away from my wife and not necessarily doing things that I loved, I knew that was not what I was supposed to be doing. So it's a great indicator for you. It's a great warning system. It's like, wait a minute, I'm feeling resistance here. And let me compare this to my purpose. And now you know, is this what I'm supposed to be doing in my life? Which really helps support you in making the choices that serve you.
Yep, great. Michelle, come on up.
Yeah.
Look at this. Okay.
Hello. My message is patience and gentleness with yourself.
Right. Patience and gentleness to yourself. So how are you patient with yourself?
Just taking it a day at a time and not always, breaking myself down when something goes wrong or if something's not perfect. Just being patient and love, and everything will go.
And what do you do? So is there an action that you take or a way of being or something that helps you move into the experience of your patience?
Just being aware of where you are now. Just not being anxious about the future, about what's next, about, oh my God, I need to get it right.
But is it something that you have a conversation with yourself in your head? Do you journal about it? Do you do yoga? Do you go for a walk? Do you call a friend? Like, what do you do?
I do have alone time where I do kind of say my thoughts out loud. I have time. Sometimes you just need to turn things off. You need to turn your phone off. The loud noises of the world around you and just be with you and your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And I would do that.
Great. Awesome. Perfect. Yeah, turning the noise in the world off. Do you have your message? Yeah. Okay, come on up. Say it for
Awesome. Hi everyone.
You're good.
Okay,
Look
great.
in the room. There's no wrong place.
My message is to support people in realizing their significance through love and trust.
Significance through love and trust. Support people in recognizing their significance through love and trust. So it's one of the ways that you do that or model that.
Well, I think our space here is a constant space to do that for people, whether they're, getting healthy for their first time or doing a workout that they've never done before, and then all of a sudden they're like, I can do it. Or maybe they run a station or run something in the space where they're like, I never thought I could be a leader in any way, and now I am. That's what I've experienced myself in 8 years, and that's what I love to provide for other people.
Perfect. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Great. Atalaya? You know your message?
Yeah.
Okay. Come on over here. This lady is going to be on American Idol soon. Let's
Yeah.
We get what we want. We get what we want. So we just say it to the universe, and that's what happens.
That you should say that because my message is that you are a magnet to the reality that you create. And so, regardless of the situation that you're currently in, know that you attracted it, but also recognize that your future is what you choose to manifest. That's not a good one.
But
That was awesome.
it's the undertones of it, from my perspective, are manifestation. You are at the core of everything that's created around you. And so if you're positive, you attract positive. If you're not, you attract not. And knowing that there's all those sides, it's not like if I'm positive all the time, then people will forget about the other part. No. The other part exists. And sometimes we need to celebrate the other part so that we can get to the positive again. Right? Awesome. Would you like to come and share? Okay, good. Come on up.
Excuse my ashy legs.
Okay.
Hey y'all, my name is Uriah. I'm from Georgia. I'm from a lot of different places. So I'm just gonna claim Georgia.
It's a good place to be from.
Thank you.
We all are from lots of places.
My message is you create your own universe. So inspire, love, and understand. That's me.
You create your own universe. Great. So how are you currently creating your universe?
Starts with the mind.
Okay. And what part of the mind are you creating?
My thoughts, like what I need to believe in.
Okay.
How do I express myself, and am I okay with me?
And how are you spreading that out into the world? What's one way that we can find you to support us in that way, to remind us of that message?
Me personally, I believe in like everything happens for a reason. So if I interact with you, there's a message that needs to be told with you to you, or you might have something for me. Interaction. Like I feel like paths cross for a reason, and realizations, and trusting your gut.
Great. So why do you think you're here today?
I think I'm here today to spread the expression.
Good. Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you say. Parker. Would you like to come and share your message?
Sure. He wants to share.
Hello, everyone. I'm Parker, and my message is live a life you love, connected to your most authentic self, providing access for
All right.
Well, it depends on what you eat.
That's a conversation that a lot of people have. A lot of people say,
Monica?
I'm trusting myself.
I'm sorry, hold on a second. Can you guys see Monica? You can't see her yet, right? All right, so Monica, you're not logged in yet right now.
No, it's trying to connect still.
Got it. Okay, so. Okay, here we go.
Yeah,
Back up.
Zoom does that for me a lot.
Okay, get back up.
Those whip things, they're flipping amazing.
So, yeah, Jen, you have to close the program. You have to figure it all out. Don't pull it because it's. Technology's so awesome. I love it. Anyway, so so many people have an issue with trust. They say they want to trust. They say they want to be trusted. And part of how people get to the trusting is by expressing themselves authentically or by connecting with their insides and then sharing from that place. But what is the source of your trust? Where does trust for you come from? How do you know that you're trusting? How do you feel like you're trusting? What does trust feel like? So that's what I'm asking.
I almost feel like trusting is a practice in itself. I think it's learning that there isn't necessarily a right or a wrong, that in everything you do or try, there's the opportunity for growth. And I think that for me personally, when I haven't died when I've tried something and life continues to go on, and I apply the things that come out of whatever that situation is or whatever I'm trying, I gain, I guess, trust, or I have faith that that is what was meant to be because I'm at where I'm at.
Do you have boots?
Perfect. Excellent.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, you want me to transition or you want?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, this shirt would be like perfect.
Okay. So,
Yeah, this comes down.
Talking about in terms
Well, no, this actually will come down a little bit
knowing
past your butt.
and being in action.
But it's perfect.
A lot
It's
of people,
yeah.
and you may be included, I'm included, who
Yeah, you can.
know
Friends, they call it Motivational Mondays,
know exactly
and like literally it's just a chat where they like all get together and give like motivational stuff for the week. I'm so mad because people keep calling me, and I'm like, I want to learn how to be more excited about the week. Shut up.
It's like really
Good.
simple. It's like, and
Yeah. So it's like
we're here at the
this is the two leading it, but then you scroll through, and then everyone we're all on this conference call together, like listening.
And
I just have it the video and
know what they need to do in order to maybe achieve their health goal, for the most part. Eat healthier, be active, those types of things, right? And yet they don't do it. And it's like so important to them. It's like there's so many people, it's like this is the goal that's going to change my life. It's everything I want. I want to write this book. I want to write this song. If I wake up every morning and stretch or meditate, it's like things I know will change my life. And we don't get it. So and here's the thing. In our most authentic basic self is inaction. You watch a child, when they want something, they just go and they do it.
No, well, there's not a cognitive thought about what the ramifications of it are. It's an impulsive experience. So when they're happy, they laugh. When they're sad, they cry. When it hurts, they grunt and make funny noises. When they have to go to the bathroom, they don't. It's not like when we, there are people that have issues that prevent them from going to bathrooms in public places, that prevent them from smiling, that prevent them from feeling like they can express themselves. There are many things that our mind calculates, evaluates, judges, criticizes, all of that.
Yes. And so what we like to do here in Motivational Monday is not just inspire and motivate and then rah, 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 see you later, right? But actually the intention is to teach.
And to have sustainability. Sustainability. If you share anything with anyone and they go with it, and what you shared went nowhere, even if it's powerful and important to you, you didn't pay it actually forward. You just talked about it. And I usually use the example of it stays information rather than wisdom, experience, and knowledge. So if you find over a long period of time that people aren't responding to the things that you are asking of them or sharing with them or modeling for them, then you am I delivering information or am I delivering experience?
Everybody get that? Yeah. Okay, good. So there's some good stuff there. I mean, there's the whole conversation about just having information and knowing something and then
Stupid. Susan gave me a hardcore
action when you actually process the information through action. So we want to give you tools. We want to give you something so that when you're not in this room and you find yourself in a situation, you actually do something about something. So, or if you hear somebody who is experiencing this, now you have a methodology, a way to support them, and having them achieve what they want. So what we want to do is, in order to do this, we need to start at a simple place, is goals. So if we can all take a moment and consider a goal or something that we are striving to achieve.
And current, not like your lifetime goal. That's a someday maybe goal that you think you're going to get done in a year, but you're not going to for several years. It's actually a much bigger goal that requires little teeny goals to go along with it. But like a goal right now that's achievable goal. But for some reason you haven't achieved it yet, but you've been striving for it for a specific amount of time.
You just know that you're not in action the way you can be in action. So let's take a moment. Imagine that there's music playing that's getting you in the mood, and just think about that for a second. That's the first step.
And just some of the ways you may consider it. So some people close their eyes and sit in silence. Some people need to write things down. Some people need to discuss it with someone else. So this may be a really great conversation point that you can't really get to the bottom of here, and you're going to connect with someone else outside of here and talk about it. But know your style of learning and integrating something, and then practice that. Build the muscle.
Okay. Yes. And so we're not going to share yet, because we're going to actually take the next step and then we're going to start sharing. Okay. So, okay. So let us know, kind of like look up when you feel like you have that goal and you're ready to, like, if you can leave here having released something, transformed something that's going to have you be in unstoppable action, that's the goal we're looking for. Like, if that's inspiring to you, like, that's the goal I want. Right?
Going to the bathroom.
This face, I'm in love.
Just because you guys can't see it out there, there is a small baby here, like probably 7 months, 6 months, 4 months, tiny guy, and is just when like we're talking and we're watching him, and there's like just these momentary experiences that we're witnessing him having as we're standing here. So when we're talking about an infant, it's not just random. There's actually an infant in the room.
Okay, everybody has that? Okay, great. So the next step is to consider what are the reasons why you're not in action. And this might be a list. It may be one specific, but basically like tell me like why are you not in action? So you want to give an example?
Well, there's just a couple of places to look from.
Yeah.
So there's why I'm not because I'm resisting something. There's why I'm not because I don't believe I can. There's why I'm not because I'm not sure if it's the right goal anyway. There's why I'm not, because I don't have the right time, money, resources, or people in my life to get there. So there's lots of reasons inside of the reasons as well. So the first list that you may create might be more of a surface list. And then when you leave here, I would invite you and welcome you to really dive a little deeper and say, well, I see this reason, but what are the 10 reasons underneath this one reason that might actually be contributing to why it hasn't necessarily gotten complete yet?
So I'll just share an example from my own life. So for a few years now, I've been really called forward to meditate. And I just know, like, my brain is like going all the time. And I have heard from so many people who I really admire that meditation gives them access to their creativity. It calms their brain down. And I just, like, I know that will make a profound impact on my life and probably my family's life. And I have the place that I want to go to. I know how much it's going to cost. And yet for some reason, I have never gone and actually made the appointment. So what are the reasons? So one reason is it's not the right time. Another reason is, it's really expensive. It's like $400 and something, and it's like, I just don't want to spend that money right now. And the third reason is I just don't have the time to do it. Like, every time I think I'm going to do it, like, other stuff comes up, and I just can't fit it into my life right now. So those would be my, if I use judgment, lame reasons for not doing this. I'm not going to call them that, because actually those reasons are there to actually learn from.
Well, and I would say that when Jan gives me feedback, a lot of the feedback that he gives me is there's a time conversation that you have, and I don't have enough resources. I don't have the right people doing the right things enough of the time to be able to get to where I'm headed. And if you aren't aware of how much you use the reason that you use, you don't even realize how much energetically that reason is blocking manifestation.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to do right now. So let's look at some of the reasons, and then we're going to see why are those reasons there? And how are we able to really release those reasons potentially once and forever? Because the truth is, I'm kind of giving away the secret now. If the reason shows up in one location, it's probably showing up all over your life in different areas. Okay, so, right? So, hold on, here we go. Okay, you know what I like about this? They have to be close to you. In order for us to be there, we have to be touching each other. So it's really great. I like this. Okay, so who would like to come up and share? Okay, coming up, Leah.
So for me, hi again, everyone. For me, sometimes something that, like, one of my goals is to be able to, like, be fully expressive. And I feel like sometimes fear holds me back, like, oh, what if people think something of me, or what if they don't like me, or what if they don't like this about me, like, and so I get I know it doesn't seem like it because I'm not shy, but sometimes that comes into play, I guess you could say. Well, and sometimes when people aren't shy, their inner voice is so loud that they are not shy out here to just counteract the loudness of how criticizing and how crazy their voice inside is. So it's not an unusual thing for people that are very outspoken to have a very strong judgment voice inside of their head.
So you would say then, and I'm not on the camera, so it's fine. So the goal would be to be fully self-expressed, and the reason would be that you have a judgment about how others are going to take it, or a judgment about yourself, they're going to look silly, or what's the judgment?
I feel like I feel like it could be, if I want to express the things that I want to express in the way that I want to express them, I feel like it could be too intense for people to take on. So I like mute it a little bit, or I push it down a little bit because in the past, I guess so. I guess in the past, like there are things that I like think or feel that I say, and it's received in a way that's like, it eventually is well received, but at first it's like, whoa, I didn't see that.
Yeah. Okay, because it's really important to be as specific as we can be, because that's how we're able to really knock it out. So what I just heard you say is that if you're really like your authentic self, then people might not, like, people won't get it. I might overpower people. People might misinterpret it. Just people won't really receive the message like I'm intending for it to be delivered.
Yeah.
Okay?
So then, yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to break that up.
So then comes next.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Is there anybody else that you want to have share, or you want to stick with one? Because I think time-wise.
Time-wise?
Yeah.
One more person.
Okay.
Who else would like to share? I'll share.
Okay, Brad, come on up.
Come on up.
Brad. See your full Brad. Yeah.
Okay. Something that I'm focusing on right now, a goal that I have, is transitioning careers. Challenges for me are my current career and time allowance, and then also the balance of when I'm not in that career and I have my me time, sacrificing my me time to reach that goal.
Okay. So two different things. Sacrificing yourself, so a boundary potentially, so working inside of a boundary, and then also experiencing the lack of freedom because of a certain circumstance called right now the career that you want to transition from.
Right.
Okay, great.
Okay, awesome.
Good.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yep.
excellent.
So the next step is actually right.
Okay, great.
That's okay. Did you have a different way that you wanted to proceed?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm paying attention to the time. 10
Okay,
minutes.
perfect. So what often happens is, so the thing that's stopping you, a lot of times people see that as a problem. Okay? So this is the problem.
I want to kill it. I want to get rid of it. I want it to go away. I want to stop it. It's not serving me. I don't want to listen to it anymore. I wish it would just go away forever. I don't want to hear it.
Right. And so, but the reality is that if you can consider that every part of you is really intending to serve you. Okay? And so the part of you, so I'm speaking on Rakalea, the part of you that is concerned about, I don't want to be misinterpreted, that's just trying to protect you, just trying to keep you safe. And the truth is that the majority of the things that stop us, actually the majority of the parts that are working for us, what they're really just trying to do is serve us in a way that has us feel safe, have us feel loved, have us feel safe, have us feel protected. Because things in our past have had us make decisions that had us experience something that hurt us, that made us feel sad. There's something that had us feel not safe. And now this mechanism is there to protect us all the time. And so now we have the opportunity to let that part of us inside know it can serve us in a different way. It's safe now. It doesn't need to protect you. And it served its time, and now it can serve you in a different way. So for me, another thing that comes up is when I say I don't have the time, like I don't know when I'm going to do it, that's really that's a conversation that I use so that I think it's protecting me from doing something that's new and that's potentially scary. And I can let it know, you know what? I'm going to be safe. It's going to be okay. And I can move forward. So the way that there's something called Gestalt, which is a type of therapy where it's a strategy, a process where you actually can communicate to the part inside of you and hear what it has to say. So if there's a part inside of you that's like, it's not the right time, or I don't want to, offend people, then you actually can communicate with that part and talk to it and say, so why are you here? What are you really concerned about? How can I serve you best? So what I'd love for you to do is, if you guys have phones or if you're writing, the intention really for this process is, first is goal. This is what my goal is. This is what is stopping me from achieving my goals. And now the third one is actually communicate with that part that's stopping you and find out why it thinks it needs to be in your life. Why is it there?
How it's serving you.
How is it serving you?
So I have a conversation about that everything in life serves you. And we identify bad things as things that aren't serving us. But it's serving you to learn something so you don't have to have that thing, that bad choice, that bad conversation, that judgment in your life anymore. Because if we're going to be true expressions of who we are, and we're going to go out into the world and we're actually going to make the difference that we're here to make, then we're going to have to get a lot of things out of our way. We're going to have to get worldly limitations out of our way. We're going to have to get physical limitations out of our way. We're going to have to get familial conversations or generational patterning out of our way. We're going to have to get health situations that are impacting our ability to be lively or be gregarious or be confident. We're going to have to get those things out of the way. So naturally what comes forward when we're working on getting those things out of the way is all those things. It's just a natural byproduct because those things serve the cleverness, the creativity, the ability for the brain to say, okay, I've seen this before. What's the solution? Oh, I've been tripped up by this before. Now I have some new tools. I've read 2 more books. I've been to a couple of Motivational Mondays. I have a new friend. I have a great health coach. I have a great life coach. I have a great business coach. Now I have some new tools. Let me apply the tools and see what works, what doesn't. And it doesn't mean the tool doesn't work. It means you're not working it yet. So how do I get better at working the tools that I have? How do I get better at seeking the tools I need? How do I get better at working the tools I have? And how do I get better at seeking the tools I need? The world is a resource. Everything you want to figure out about anything, someone else has already done that. It's already been figured out. So your job is to not give up on finding the resource, the person, or the opportunity, the possibility to go get that handled, to learn what you need to learn, to do what you need to do, to let go of what you need to let go of, to implement what you need to implement, to go and make a difference. But so many of us get stopped at the first red light. And maybe if we get through the next red light, we say, well, gosh, I know I got through 1 red light, but by the 3rd red light, I'm tired of these red lights. So let me go to a whole different street, start on a whole different goal, and let me put that goal on the side until I feel like I could actually maybe go visit that goal again, which can be good so long as on the street that you ended up choosing, you don't keep falling in the same potholes that were on the first street. Right? Because otherwise, you're still building the muscle of, I can't. And my example of this is, and I think I shared a story even last week with my children. So right now, we're consumed in adolescence. I have a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old, a boy and a girl. So I get both sides of the spectrum. And I invited them both to come here today because they're off of school. And I want the perfect drink tea at 3 p.m. British children who say yes to everything. That's not reality. Okay? It's just not, for some reason, that just isn't.
Mom, right?
Yes, Mom. It just isn't seeming to happen, especially not as often as I'd like it to happen. So I had one of them say, why are you making me go? And the other one say, I'll go if you want me to. So one of them is, you tell me what to do, I'll say yes because some of the time I should say yes because you're my mom. And the other one is like, you're not going to tell me what to do. Now, here's the problem with that. No, it was actually Avery, believe it or not. So what's hard about this is, why did I want them to be here? 1, to be in an environment that might open their mind to something. To be flexible, to teach them the muscle of being flexible. I know they don't want to come. Who, on your day off of school, would want to go to your mother's lecture? Right? Who would want to do that? That's in their mind. This isn't a lecture.
That's going to say conversation.
But, that's in their mind. It's like she's going to go and she's going to talk to people about the millions of things I've heard her say before. Who cares? But that's where something happens. When they say yes to something that they want to say no to, all of a sudden flexibility in their life becomes available. So I keep being the mom and testing and testing and testing, and they're not ready to learn that lesson yet. But you and I all know 10 years down the line, they're going to wish that they had the flexibility when they're confronted with something or invited to consider something, and they don't have the tool of flexibility to be able to jump in. So it starts at 10, it starts at 8, it starts at 4. And so what we're undoing right now is the programming that we got at those ages or someone who didn't understand how to encourage us and inspire us in a way while also honoring our process. You know, notice they're not here. Could I have forced them to come? You betcha. But we said, look, if you really don't want to come, we really don't want you to come, because we want you to choose. We don't want to be the one. We want to give you the opportunity. We want you to choose it. So that, I think, is a really important part of this process, is that if you're really going to adopt something new in your life, that those voices inside of your head are those things you're going to write to. They're the voice of your mother telling you 100 times you need to do something and you saying yes only for her, but never knowing how to express, I really don't want to go, and I want you to understand why. Not, I don't want to go and stop making me, right? They're really different experiences. But when we're standing inside of today, looking back over the past, we didn't have the tools, we didn't have the language back then. And if we talked back to our mother, some of us, we didn't know it was going to come flying, right? We didn't know. Or we knew and we didn't want it. Okay? So as you dive into this next, it's just going to be like a minute, because we're just going to start the process here. But we're investing inside of a building of a new muscle, a building of a new mindset. So when the reasons that your goal is not happening happen, what do those reasons come to serve you with? Not how are they hurting you, what are they serving you with? That's the question you want to ask when you write to them. Like a letter. And imagine you're writing a love letter to the things that are stopping you to maybe teach it. They don't have to stop you in that way. Okay? So take a moment. Are there any questions? Are there any questions to start with? Okay, I don't see anybody on this, so I'm not sure if anybody has a question.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So go ahead and take just a minute and write down what it is. Just start that sentence. Whatever the reason is, so kind of the biggest stop reason, how are you here to serve me? Ready, go. The whole time.
No, we're not.
No, I know. I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
Still.
I was on.
I need some.
Thank you. Okay.
You guys ready? So remember, this is just an exercise that you're starting, but it's important that you take time with this one on your time at home so that you can really dive deeper and deeper and deeper into. And you can visit one reason at a time, or you can visit all the reasons at one time. However you do it is the right way to do it.
So, and what you can consider is, so there's different ways of accessing like the parts inside of you. And one of them is a really great way, which is what we're doing right now, is actually writing. And so the process that you can do is actually take both sides of the conversation. So where you literally will be writing, where you literally be, let's say, talking to a part inside of you, and you'll ask it a question, and then you can write back how it answers. And then you can write again, okay, respond to that. And literally write out a dialogue between you and this part inside of you. So just to give one more example before we conclude is one of my goals is to be in like really, really like fit, great shape. You know, like how do I look like this guy back here, right? I mean, you know, it's so funny. There's so many examples I was going to give, but it's like pretty much like everyone in the room, like how do I like look like that? And so that's my goal. I know that would like make a huge impact in my life if I was like really, really, really in great shape. And then what was the thing that was stopping me was consistency. And it's like, why can't I be consistent? Like in anything, why can't I be consistent? And so I had a conversation with consistency. And I said, why do you disappear? Why don't you show up? Why can't you just be stronger? How do I make you stronger, right? And, you know, I'm writing back and forth. And consistency said, I'm here. You wake up every morning and you make your shake for breakfast. You then get up and you take a shower every morning. You brush your teeth every morning. You know how consistent you are. You know how many things that you do consistently, and you don't pay attention to me. All you do is look at the stuff that I'm not doing.
And
So-
that, oh, sorry.
Yes,
And
go
that-
ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and that even like in The Secret, they say like when you focus on something, whether it is the lack of it or the want for it to not be existent, the only thing that the universe is seeing is just
Yes.
the item itself, the issue itself.
Yeah, if you, I'm sorry to interrupt, go ahead.
No,
finish.
go ahead, no.
I was just gonna say, if you say, what's your example always? Don't do something, and it forgets the don't.
Yeah,
right?
Or I don't want to sit in traffic, but you always find yourself in traffic.
Yes.
So like, I don't want this lack of consistency, but all it hears is lack of consistency.
Because that's what you're paying attention to.
Yeah.
That's what I'm focusing on. I'm the actor who's watching the acting. I'm looking at where I'm not being consistent. And consistency said, I'm here. And you're not ever paying attention to me. And I said, okay, so.
Or acknowledging
or
me for
acknowledging
being
me.
here when I'm here.
Yes. And so when I said, how can I feel more consistent? And it said, give love and attention to the consistency that's already there. And then you'll see it show up in all the other places. And so that's my example of having a conversation with the part that was blocking me from having my goals.
And I'll say one other thing, and this is true in business, this is true in life. Don't give up chasing it.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm not consistent, I get frustrated and fed up with myself, and I'll stop chasing it. Chase it. Chase consistency. What would the plan to chase the finish line called consistency look like? Because when you put it into the allegorical or the metaphorical place, you can imagine consistency to be the finish line. And when you're driving, every time the light turns green, you're being consistent. So all day long, every time a red light turns green, you experience consistency. Like you could have that be one day. And then maybe you do it 2 days, and then maybe 3. And all of a sudden, that metaphor becomes real inside of your life. Like, oh, I'm looking for the green. I'm looking for the yes. I'm looking for the opportunity. And it builds the muscle. But we don't use the day-to-day interactions. We make those day-to-day interactions wrong and inconvenient and a pain in the butt. And we don't value how it can bring us the lessons that we're seeking to learn.
And if you remember, I said when it's showing up in one place, it's often showing up all over your life. And so that's what then happened for me. Because I saw that, consistency, I was looking at where I wasn't being consistent rather than appreciating where I was, and then just acknowledging that and knowing more will come. And then that was my conversation about money. That was my conversation about time. That was my conversation in every area of my life where I felt like I didn't have enough. I was able to take that equation and really start paying attention.
Love what you have, not what you want.
Yes. And really paying attention and knowing by giving love, then the rest will just show up and more. And that's how I was able to strengthen things, was to appreciate and have gratitude for what I had. So that's the lesson for the day.
So how you clear your path is 3 steps. 1, set a goal.
Identify the goal that you're working towards.
Or set a goal. 2, understand the reasons that are in the way or that you perceive
are stopping the possibility of that goal. Make a list of them, know them, familiarize yourself with them, all the I'm nots yet or I can't yet. And then number 3, have a conversation. How is that reason serving you?
Awesome.
And focus on what is rather than what is not.
And Monica's tagline, her purpose on the planet, is see your greatness, be your greatness, and pay it forward. So
remember today,
yes,
this is one of the ways that you can see your greatness by allowing yourself to step towards the goals in your life. It's a way to see your greatness, see that you have a goal. That's great. Being it, so practicing the steps of these 3 steps, and then pay it forward. Teach someone else what you learned today.
Yeah, share what you learned today.
Awesome.
Thank you,
Thank you, everybody on Zoom. Thank you, everybody in the room.
Awesome. That was great. Such a good topic.
Yep.